A concrete example question answers from grade 8 subject English book Poorvi. Let us do these activities before we read. First, read the names of items you usually find in a garden and write their names against each picture given below. Answer. So friends, this is hedge, this is flower pot, this is wheelbarrow, these are pebbles, this is sapling, this is garden hose, this is flower beds, this is vine, this is fence, and this is rockery. So you can note it down. Second, work in groups of 4. What kind of garden would you like to have? Mention the features that you can include and the reasons for your choice. Share your answers with your classmates and teacher. Answer. I would like to have a garden full of colorful flowers, green grass, and fruit trees. It should have a small pond with fish, shady trees for sitting, and a corner with medicinal herbs. Such a garden would not only look beautiful, but also provide fresh air, fruits, and a peaceful place for relaxation and study. Third, read the title of the poem. What comes to your mind when you read the word concrete? Does it have more than one meaning? Answer. The word concrete makes me think of stones, cement, and solid things used in construction. At the same time, it also means clear or definite. So it has two meanings here. First, literal meaning. Mrs. Jones' garden is full of stones like concrete. Second, symbolic meaning. The poem gives us a clear, concrete example of her unusual gardening style. Let us discuss. First, complete the following summary with exact words from the poem. One example has been done for you. Share your answers with your classmates and teacher. The poem describes Mrs. Jones, the speaker's next door neighbor, who has a unique garden filled with stones. Her garden includes a peculiar crazy path, a pond, and a rockery, along with an unusual sundial that she finds charming. Mrs. Jones plants tiny, delicate plants between the stones, which the speaker thinks must be so small that they are planted with a pin. One day, Mrs. Jones invites the speaker to see her garden, and they discuss a flower that Mrs. Jones treasures. When the speaker asks where the lovely flower is, Mrs. Jones says that the speaker has been standing on it all along. Second, select the correct option to fill in the blanks for the following sentences. First, the stone of the poem is. Answer D. Second, humorous. Fourth, amusing. And fifth, light-hearted. Second, the speaker in the poem is. Answer, the poet. Third, the rhyme scene of the poem is. Answer, A, B, B, C, C. Third, complete the following sentences by choosing the correct answer given in the brackets. First, the poet uses the word stones in all stanzas in order to emphasize her obsession with a stony garden. Second, the poet uses imagery to describe the features of the garden that help readers visualize the garden's peculiar nature. Fourth, pick examples of alliteration from the poem. Answer, plants between the stones, delicate and small, crazy path, alliteration, repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words. Fifth, a refrain is a repeated line or phrase that appears in each stanza. Identify the refrain from the poem. Refrain, my next door neighbor, Mrs. Jones. Sixth, irony is a literary device that emphasizes the difference between what is expected and what actually happens. It often involves a situation where the outcome is the opposite of what is expected, creating a surprise or a humorous effect. For example, Mrs. Jones' excitement about her garden contrasts with the speaker's disappointment on how ordinary it is. Identify the lines from the poem that display situational irony. Answer, where is this lovely thing? I cried. You are standing on it, she replied. Irony, the speaker expected to see a big, beautiful flower, but it was so tiny that he was unknowingly standing on it. Seventh, complete the following sentences appropriately. First, The word concrete can refer to the stones in Mrs. Jones' garden. Second, the title also has a symbolic meaning as the poem provides a clear or concrete example of Mrs. Jones' peculiar gardening habits. Eighth, the title, a concrete example, carries both literal and symbolic metamorphical meaning. Such wordplay is called a pun. A pun is a figure of speech that uses words with multiple meanings or words that sound alike but have different meanings, creating a humorous effect. I tried arguing with my pencil, but it kept making sharp points. Suggests the idea of an actual sharp pencil point and strong argument points. My pencil and I had a disagreement, but we finally got to the point. Refers to solving an argument and the pencil's tip. Next, let us think and reflect. First, read the given extract and answer the questions that follow. First, my next door neighbor, Mrs. Jones, has got a garden full of stones, a crazy path, a lily pond, a rockery end just beyond, a sundial with a strange device which Mrs. Jones thinks rather nice. First, what can be inferred about Mrs. Jones' taste in gardening from the description of her garden being full of stones? Answer: it shows that Mrs. Jones has an unusual and unique taste in gardening. Instead of filling her garden with flowers and greenery, she prefers stones and rock-based designs. Second, identify whether the following statement is true or false. The garden serves as a means to reveal more about Mrs. Jones herself. So friends, this is true. Third, what does the poet mean by crazy path? Answer: the phrase crazy path refers to a pathway made of irregularly shaped stones placed in a random pattern, giving it a crazy or unusual look. Fourth, what does the sundial with a strange device suggest about Mrs. Jones' personality? Answer A: she has a fascination with unusual items. Second, answer the following questions. Question 1. How does Mrs. Jones feel about her garden? Support your answer with evidence from the poem. Answer: Mrs. Jones feels proud and happy about her garden. She thinks her sundial is rather nice and treasures even the tiniest flower in it. This shows that she values and enjoys her unique gardening style. Question 2. Why do you think the speaker describes the plants as being so small that they could be planted with a pin? Answer: the plants are so delicate and tiny that the speaker humorously exaggerates, saying they look as if they could only be planted with a pin. This highlights how small and almost invisible they appear compared to normal garden plants. Question 3. What do we get to know about Mrs. Jones based on her gardening style and her interaction with the speaker? Answer: Mrs. Jones is creative, different, and has her own sense of beauty. She values things that others may overlook, such as stones and tiny plants. Her interaction with the speaker shows that she is cheerful, enthusiastic, and takes pride in her unusual garden. Question 4. The poem portrays Mrs. Jones in a positive light. Support this statement. Answer: yes. The poem shows Mrs. Jones as a person with individuality and passion. Even though her garden is unusual, she takes pride in it. The speaker finds humor in her ways, but the tone of the poem is light-hearted and affectionate, not mocking. This makes her appear as a positive and admirable character. Question 5. What does the poem tell us about the way people think differently about the world around them? Answer: the poem shows that everyone has their own perspective of beauty and value. While the speaker finds Mrs. Jones' garden odd and amusing, she treasures it deeply. This teaches us that people have different ways of appreciating the world, and we should respect their unique choices. Let us learn. First, select the appropriate word from the brackets that correctly replaces the underlined word in the sentences from the text. A sundial with a peculiar device. Peculiar means strange, unusual in character, best fit for strange device. Second, which Mrs. Jones thinks rather charming. Charming means delightful, pleasing, matches the sense of rather nice. Third, they are so fragile. Fragile means delicate, easily broken, perfect replacement for delicate. Fourth, where is this lovely thing? I exclaimed. Exclaimed means cried out suddenly in surprise or emotion, correct for cried. Second, the sundial is referred to as a device in the poem. Work in pairs to infer the meaning of device. Share your thoughts with your classmates and teacher. Meaning of device in the poem. A device is an instrument or object designed for a particular purpose. In the poem, the sundial is called a device because it is a tool used to measure time using the shadow of the sun. Now, match the type of instruments in column 1 with their definitions in column 2. Column 3 shows one example of each type of instrument. Add more examples in column 3. First, implement means something used by hand to make or repair. Example, spade, knife. Second, tool means something that works on being moved by hand. Example, hammer. Third, equipment means a set of necessary items for a particular purpose. Example, cricket bat, helmet, batting gloves, etc. Fourth, appliance, something that is electrical and is used to work in the house. Example, mixer, grinder. Fifth, gadget means something small that is mechanical or electronic. Example, mobile phone, laptop. Third, complete the table by making new words in column 1 using the hints given in column 2. Replace the first letter of the given word to create new words. One example has been done for you. So friends, like nice, then dice, cut into small pieces. Rice, grain that we cook. Third, mice, plural of mouse. Fourth, vice, bad habit. Second, soil. First, boil, heat something. Second, toil, work very hard. Third, coil, length of wire in a circle. Fourth, foil, sheets to wrap food items. So friends, you can note it down. Now let's move forward. Let us listen. First, you will listen to a presentation about the wonderful rock garden of Chandigarh. As you listen, answer the following questions using 1 to 3 exact words from the presentation. Transcript for teacher on page 47. So friends, let's read the transcript. Hello everyone. The rock garden is a spacious open air exhibition. It is a proof of human creativity with waste materials. This garden was created by Nek Chand in 1957. This is the reason the garden is also known as Nek Chand's Rock Garden. The garden was featured on an Indian postage stamp in 1983 and Nek Chand was awarded the Padma Shri a year later. The rock garden is spread across a massive 40-acre wonderland. Do you know why I say this? Well, it is because it has several colorful sculptures and mosaic of art pieces. What is unique about the rock garden is that it is divided into 3 distinct phases. Each area reveals a unique collection of installations including terracotta pots, light fixtures, and even broken toilet pots that have been transformed into extraordinary masterpieces. You will be surprised to know that the borders of the rock garden are lined with around 5,000 statues. The rock garden is truly a place that celebrates the best from waste. I sincerely recommend that you visit this extraordinary national treasure. Question 1. Where was Nek Chand's rock garden featured? Answer. Indian postage stamp. Question 2. What kind of sculptures does the rock garden have? Answer. Colorful sculptures. Question 3. How is the rock garden divided? Answer. 3 distinct phases. Question 4. Name any one thing that has been transformed into a piece of art in the rock garden. Answer. Broken toilet pots. Other correct answers: terracotta pots, light fixtures. Question 5. Approximately how many statues border the rock garden? Answer. 5,000 statues. Next, let us speak. First, the speaker of the poem might have felt sorry for stepping on Mrs. Jones' flower. When we make a mistake, we must express regret and apologize for our actions. First, when we apologize to a friend or a family member, we use informal language. Take turns to apologize for the following situations and respond to the apology. First, you have eaten your brother's share of sweets. Answer: You: I am really sorry for eating your share of sweets. Brother: That's all right, but don't do it next time. Second, you have broken your sister's flower craft. You: Sorry, I didn't mean to break your flower craft. Sister: No problem, these things happen. Third, you accidentally spilled ink on your mother's important documents. You: I am sorry about spilling ink on your documents. Mother: It's no big deal, but please be more careful. Fourth, you forgot to bring your friend's notebook to school after borrowing it. You: Please forgive me for forgetting your notebook at home. Friend: That's all right, just bring it tomorrow. Second, when we apologize to someone in authority like a principal or a teacher in a formal setting, we use formal language. Work in pairs and take turns to apologize for the following situations and respond to the apology. First, you did not bring an assignment that was due for submission. Answer: You: I am extremely sorry for not bringing my assignment. I promise it won't happen again. Teacher: I accept your apology. Please ensure you submit it tomorrow. Second, you were late to school for the past 3 days and had to meet the principal. You: I owe you an apology for being late for the past 3 days. I'll do my best not to repeat it. Principal: I appreciate you saying this, but make sure you are on time from now. Third, you did not submit your project work and were asked to explain. You: I really regret not submitting my project work on time. I assure you that this will never happen again. Teacher: I am glad you realized your mistake. See that you complete it soon. Next, let us write: You are a member of the nature club of your school. Draft a notice informing the students of grade 6 to 8 about the inauguration of the herb garden. Points to remember: mention the purpose of writing, date, time, venue, and any other relevant information, whom to contact, when and where. Use formal language in the third person form. Write the notice in a box. Name of the organization, notice, date, title, body of the notice, name, signature, class. Answer: Nature Club, Greenfield School. Notice: date 20th September 2025. Inauguration of herb garden. The Nature Club is pleased to inform the students of grades 6 to 8 that the inauguration of the newly developed herb garden will be held on 25 September 2025, Thursday at 10:30 am in the school courtyard. The principal will inaugurate the garden, followed by a short presentation on the importance of medicinal and culinary herbs. All students of grades 6 to 8 are cordially invited to attend the event. For further details, students may contact the undersigned in the Nature Club room during recess. Signature: Vaibhav, Secretary, Nature Club, Class 8. So friends, you can note it down. You can write your name here. I have written mine, Vaibhav. Tips for students: always write the notice inside a box in the exam. Keep the language formal, clear and concise. Don't forget to include date, time, venue, purpose and contact details. Next, let us explore. First, Amrit Udyan is a garden spread over an expanse of 15 acres around Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. It has multiple attractions that include a specially curated garden for children called Bal Vatika, a tree house, nature's classroom, etc. It also has the bonsai, Herbal First, Herbal 2, Tactile Garden, Arogya Vanam, and circular gardens with a diverse variety of flora and fauna. Now, find out about popular gardens in your region and share with your classmates and teacher. Answer: Popular gardens in New Delhi. Here are some well-known gardens students can mention when sharing in class. First, Lodi Garden, special feature: 90-acre park with Mughal era tombs, lush lawns, jogging tracks. Why visit? Combines history with greenery, great for picnics and walks. Next, Sundar Nursery. Special features: 16th century heritage park near Humayun's tomb, 300 plus plant species, fountains, butterfly areas. Why visit? UNESCO Heritage Site, Biodiversity Hotspot. Next, Garden of Five Senses. Special feature: thematic garden with sculptures, water features, solar park, amphitheater. Why visit? Designed to stimulate all five senses, popular for cultural events. Next, Nehru Park. Special features: 80-acre park in Chanakyapuri with lawns, play areas, cycling tracks. Why visit? Ideal for families, concerts and outdoor activities. Next garden, Deer Park, Haus Khas. Special features: home to spotted deer, peacocks, rabbits, Mughal ruins and a lake. Why visit? Mix of wildlife and history inside the city. Students can pick one or two gardens they have visited or heard about and prepare a short note to share with classmates. Okay friends, now let's move forward. Second, a herbarium is a collection of plant samples preserved for long-term study, usually in the form of dried and pressed plants mounted on paper. Now, collect some fallen flowers and leaves from your neighborhood, place them in folds of a newspaper carefully, and put a pile of books on them. After 1 week, take them out and use them to make a card, wall hanging or any other artwork. A sample has been given for your reference. Herbarium activity. Steps for students. First, collect fallen flowers and leaves, never pluck fresh ones. Second, place them between folded newspaper sheets. Third, put a pile of books on top for pressing. Fourth, after 1 week, carefully remove the dried samples. Fifth, use them creatively. Make a greeting card, design a wall hanging, create a bookmark, prepare a mini herbarium sheet with labels, plant name, date, place collected. This activity not only builds creativity but also teaches plant identification, preservation, and appreciation of biodiversity. Third, read and enjoy the poem. A sea of foliage. A sea of foliage girds our garden round, but not a sea of dull, unvaried green. Sharp contrast of all colors here are seen. The light green graceful tamarinds abound amid the mango clumps of green profound, and palms arise like pillars grey between, and o'er the quiet pools the simals lean, red and startling like a trumpet's sound. But nothing can be lovelier than the ranges of bamboos to the eastward when the moon looks through their gaps and the white lotus changes into a cup of silver one might swoon, drunken with beauty then, or gaze and gaze on a primeval Eden in amaze. Toru Dutt. So friends, we have completed all the question answers from the poem A Concrete Example from Unit 1. We have already studied the stanza-wise explanation, summary and moral of the poem. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, kindly like, hype the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel for more such videos. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.